Eric was very fatigued last game, last series. Eric, of course, he just had a day full of DreamHack, and then he showed up for Copa Hyperion. Massive shout out to Eric for showing up and competing, and honestly having some pretty amazing games. But now we are in the grand finals, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Jagannatha LE, we have the Mexican Protoss. The best Protoss in all of Latino America, representing Alpha X. It is Pacomike. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Jagannatha LE, we have the Zerg player. He's red, representing the CranKy Ducklings. He's the Street Fighter. He is Ryu. The best Zerg player in Peru. One of the best in Latin America. He is overshadowed by people like Cham. Obviously, Cham is considered the best Zerg player in Latin America, in Mexico. Even though Cham didn't have the best DreamHack run, unfortunately. For those wondering though, Cham is currently in Korea, not Mexico. So this isn't the best time for him. That's why we haven't seen Cham recently in our Latin American tournaments that we cast on this channel. It's because Cham has been getting ready to go overseas, and now he's in a different time zone. So yes, for those wondering, Cham is currently in Korea practicing with Juanito with Special. He arrived there, I believe, 2, maybe 3 weeks ago. So he's been there, not for a long period of time, but he has been there and has been working on his StarCraft. So I cannot wait to see how much he improves over time. But of course, here we have our more resident Latin American players holding down the fort in Cham's absence. Can Ryu do it? Can Ryu do it for his Zerg brethren? For his fallen comrade Eric? Can he get his revenge? If only Eric was called Ken. If only. But we'll see how we go here. As so far, it's been a pretty standard opening. We are on Jagannatha. Jagannatha, I think, is a pretty good map for SkyToss. So we're probably going to see that from Pacomike. I'd be very surprised if we see more of his like ground focus army composition with his Blink Stalkers, with his Disruptors. But oh my, already proves me wrong, opening up with a Twilight Council. I love this. This is very unexpected, and especially because honestly, Ryu has a lot of practice against SkyToss, and I feel like normally Ryu comes out on top, so I like that Pacomike, he's going for something different here. He's going for a completely different strategy to try and catch Ryu off guard. Ryu does have an Overlord in position to go in. Oh, and it looks like these slow lings are going to slip their way in regardless, and Ryu will scout everything in the main. Let's go. So Ryu, he hasn't, okay, he has. He has seen the Twilight Council. Ooh, and what's interesting, he should see the lack of gas. He should see that there's only one probe in each gas, which is indicative of a charge all in. So hopefully he noticed. It can be difficult if you're not looking at it specifically, if you're not looking at the gases. Hopefully he was, because if he wasn't, this could kill. God, we even have a proxy Stargate out here on the map. Ryu, he's looking, he's checking. I don't believe Ryu has scattered the gases. He's going to try, but there's a wall here. Ooh, he did have enough vision to see this gas though, and he saw that it wasn't taken. So hopefully he has enough information to know that a charge all-in is coming. We have a Roach Warren on the way, which is okay. There's no Baneliness though, and I'm worried that Ryu may drone up a little bit too much because charge is about to finish. 4 gates are about to finish as well. So in total, we're going to have 5 gateways powered up here for Pacomike. He's throwing down plenty of pylons to make sure he doesn't get supply blocked. Ryu comes back in. The gases have been retaken, but I hope he realizes what's coming. Spore on the way. You have to get a Spore, to be fair, just in case there's a Dark Shrine. So it makes sense. Yo, Pacomike throws down 2 Stargates. Is he not committing? I guess he's not. Wow. Okay. He doesn't believe. I believed, but he doesn't. Pacomike, he's getting ready to transition. He's not committing to just this charge all in. And I guess it makes sense. There wasn't a Robo, there's no Warp Prism, so he's just going up with these charge loss. We'll see how much damage they get done. Honestly, yo, they're gonna get a lot done. All these things will fall. The charge loss are getting on top of the Queens, they're getting on top of the Roaches and the Ravagers. This is what I mean. Like, I feel like if Pacomike was a little bit more dedicated to this, he probably could have killed his opponent. He probably could have killed Ryu, to be honest. Oh boy. But instead, Pacomike, he didn't commit too much. Just one warp in, maybe 2 warp ins, and he does back off. He is looking to expand and take another base. I feel like, honestly, that was a missed opportunity. If I'm completely honest, Pacomike, yo, he could have just thrown down more gateways, keep pumping out the Zealots, keep up the pressure. Opts to go for Skytoss instead. The Zealots are coming in, but it looks like they should be pushed away. See how much more damage these can get done. Yo, if they get Queens, that's actually pretty important. Oh, the Lings and the Ravagers, they're dealing with Zealots here at the 3rd base. That means one of the Queens does fall, a 2nd Queen falls, a 3rd Queen could fall. This is so important because Void Rays are on the way. These Queens are so valuable. And Pacomike knows that. He's specifically targeting these Queens. Now, only 4 Queens remain. We have 2 more on the way, so there's going to be 6 in total. So thankfully, Ryu isn't neglecting his Queen production. He needs it desperately, as we have 2 Void Rays coming out at a time. Ryu, he hasn't scouted this yet, so he actually doesn't know. And I mean, now he should know. The Void Rays reveal themselves. Oh god, Queens are on the way. See a couple of Blows being thrown down. Oh, immediately a Queen does get focused down. That was really unlucky for that Queen. There are a couple more Queens, but the Void Rays, they want the hatchery, and it looks like they're gonna get it. The hatchery goes down. Massive loss there for Ryu. He double expands. Ugh. And now Pacomike, he's throwing down a Fleet Beacon. He's committing. He has successfully kind of juked Ryu into thinking something else was coming, and this is looking really good for Pacomike. But we'll see what else he can get done with these Void Rays. Like, he has full map control right now, essentially. He's going to be rotating up towards the north, looking to try and deny one of these bases. Ryu has very limited vision, so he has to be really on point with how he moves his army. He has, like, again, he should know that these Void Rays are rotating around. Even though he knows that, does he have enough energy? Can he transfuse? Transfuse? Oh, just barely keeps his roach. Oh, don't even. Oh, the Queens are falling. All the Queens are falling. This could be it. The hatchery goes down. Only 2 Queens left. These Queens are coming out, but they do not have enough energy for a transfuse. The hatchery will die. And Pacomike, mate, he's coming out here. He's coming out strong. He could go toe-to-toe with these Queens if he realized how low they were and how little energy they had. Ooh, goes for the Evo Chamber instead. He will get it. Yo, can he get everything? Oh my god, he's gonna get the Roach Warren as well. To be fair, the Roach Warren wasn't that important, but getting the Evo Chamber was huge. I do think that Pacomike, honestly, instead of focusing on the Evo Chamber, could have killed the Queens and then the Evo Chamber. Instead, he wasn't feeling too sure if he could do that, so he went for the Evo Chambers, got that secure damage, backs off. And now he's stuck on 3 bases. He's trying to expand. He's trying to take more. But he has been on the back foot for a while now. He's struggling to kind of keep his head above water. We do have a couple of Hydras out, and they can fight as long as they're all together. The Voiders are being forced back. I love that Pacomike, he isn't neglecting his ground army. Sure, he is going into carriers, but look at this. Storm is on the way, and he already has 5 High Templar, slowly gathering energy. Once Storm finishes, like, he's gonna have so much energy for that. Hatchery goes down, Ryu is all in. 100% all in. He has to end the game here. Storm isn't done. These High Templar are kind of useless. Yo, this is a really good timing right now. He needs to go in there. He needs to hit it. He backs off. He's going for the natural instead. He sees the defensive position. Meanwhile, Storm. Yo, Storm finishes. No, there was a timing here that he could have hit. But Storm is done. And with Storm, Pacomike, oh god, he could hold here. One Storm does land. He has a couple more though. Oh god, blankets the Hydras. But is it enough? The interceptors are falling. No Storms remaining. This High Templar is getting a little bit ambitious. Ooh, and it does get targeted down. The real question is there enough anti-air? The Void Rays are starting to focus down the Hydras. There are only, what, 6 Hydras left? And not enough Queens. The Queens are falling. The Ravager shots are forcing Pacomike to micro back. Hydras are slowly trickling in. Maybe Ryu has enough. A free carrier. Not so free. Does escape. Queen falls. No more Queens. Ooh, and Archons are being morphed in. Can Pure Hydra really pull this off? Can he do it? He has a couple of roaches to tank. It's going to be really close here. The Archons are falling. So are the Interceptors. The problem is that Ryu hasn't dealt any economic damage yet. He's really struggled to break into the natural. Finally, he gets in, but there aren't enough Hydras, I don't think. Yeah. Ryu gets forced back. And Ryu doesn't have another base. Like, he's all in. And the longer this takes, the better it is for Pacomike. Oh, there are the Storms. There's like 2 more Storms left. There's no way. There it is. Another Storm lands. And another. Oh my god. And another. That was the last Storm, but it was enough. Sure, there are a couple of Hydras here, but G gets cold. Pacomike takes game 1. Hold on. Where are my points? And Pacomike does take it there. Very interesting build by Pacomike, honestly. Like the opener, he started off with mass charge lots, and that's what Ryu saw, and that's what Ryu was preparing for. And then, just like that, Pacomike switches into Skytoss. It was very cool to see. And it worked well. Oh, as I'm trying to get the flags ready. Ooh, got it. And Ryu was not ready for the switch. He didn't have enough Queens. He was going for a Hydra timing, but he just kept losing hatcheries. Things just really did not go well there for Ryu. Pacomike looking strong. Pacomike upset. Again, he couldn't perform at that DreamHack. They just didn't happen. He had to take the walkover. Feels bad, man. But here he is. Well, I should say here is his opponent as spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE. We have a player who was also robbed of his DreamHack chance. He didn't make it through the qualifiers, but he is here in Copa Hyperion. It is the Peruvian Zerg player representing the CranKy Ducklings, Ryu. And in the top right, we have the Mexican Protoss. Someone who did make it to the main event of DreamHack, but due to his internet being out, was forced to forfeit against Jim Rising. Pacomike could have had an amazing run, but luck was not on his side. We have Pacomike. Already up 1-0, but this is a best of 5. It's going to be a long series. First game doesn't hold too much weight in a best of 5 compared to a best of 3. So it's okay. It's okay for now. Hatch gas pool opening from Ryu. Pretty standard. Again, in the semis, we saw how aggressive Eric was with his openers. Ryu isn't that kind of player. Ryu is a lot more standard. He's a lot more macro focused. You could argue a little bit more boring. But there is finesse when it comes to how he controls like his Vipers and his Hydras and his Lurkers when he gets there. His Infestors as well. That's where he feels the most comfortable in a later game. But we saw how he was kind of shaken up by the Zealots in game 1. We'll see if he has a bit of an easier time here in game number 2. At the moment, Pacomike just scouting, just making sure he sees everything. You know, there's no early gas, there's no early Roach Warren. He's not up against Eric. Meanwhile, Pacomike, everything is looking pretty up and up here as well. There we go. This time, a Stargate opening. And I mean, he's probably gonna go Void Rays. Let's be real here. we're not gonna see Oracles. We're not gonna see Phoenixes. Maybe we'll see one Oracle. Maybe, to be fair. But yeah, we'll most likely be Skytoss coming out here from Pacomike. He's pretty good at it, as we've seen. And we'll see how Ryu responds here. He's just scouting around the map, making sure there's no proxy pylon. To be fair, Pacomike did proxy last game. So Ryu is just making sure nothing crazy is going on. He's expanding, taking his third base. Meanwhile, 2 Lings do get into the main base. Ooh, forced a bit of a probe pool. And as we quickly check the vision, yes, the Stargate has been scouted. So this is a lot more straightforward. This is a lot more straightforward from Pacomike. No mind games here. After the first Stargate, we do have a Twilight Council, but it is scouted by the Overlord. And we'll see what Pacomike goes for, because the obvious thing, the normal thing, is to go into charge lots from here. You get a couple of Void Rays out and you go into charge lots. Earlier today against Eric, we did see Pacomike whip out +1 Blink Stalkers. There is no Forge though. That's the other thing. Because there's no Forge, this could be Glaive Adepts. That's what I was going to get into. So we have seen a lot of Protoss players really favor this style. You open up with the Stargate. Ideally, this Void Ray kills the Overlord, and then you go into Twilight Council. And the Zerg player has no idea. And they really struggle to scout, and then you hit them with like mass Glaive Adepts. Problem is, I don't know what the hell this Void Ray's been doing this game, but he completely missed this Overlord. Ryu scouts everything. He sees the gas count. He knows that it is not charge. He should know that it is Glaive Adepts, and we already see a Roach Warren on the way. He also sees that there's no Forge, right? Again, Forge is very common with charge lots and with +1 Blink Stalkers, or Blink Stalkers in general. So Ryu does have all the scouting information he needs. Now it's about the execution of the build. To defend, we need Lings to chase the Shades, we need Roaches to fight the Adepts, we need Queens to push away the Void Ray. The Queens aren't that important. Especially since there's no Warp Prism with this, right? So here we go. Adepts have been warped in, they've been scouted, Ryu confirms, and now they are shading across the map. Now, let's see. Ryu, can he get enough Lings and Roaches to defend? This Void Ray, it looks like it will get the gas. It's losing a lot of health here, though, and it looks like the Void Ray... Oh my god, it doesn't even get the gas. Oh, that was not worth it whatsoever. Meanwhile, here come the Adepts. They are trying to shade in. The Bile connects, gets one of the Adepts. Drones are pulled back a little bit. They do commit to the shade. Full wall off though. Made beautiful response here by Ryu. The full wall. Ah, that was chef's kiss. Did not let the Adepts shade into the natural. Beautifully done here. He even keeps the drone here. Just to throw down another Evo chamber. Just in case. And just like that. Ryu, he defends almost beautifully. He did lose 4 drones, so it wasn't the perfect defense. Wasn't perfect, but it was pretty close. And at the end of that, Pacomike, he lost the Void Ray. He lost 8 Adepts for 4 drones. Not worth it at all. And now, Ryu, he's setting up. He's dealing with all these rocks, getting ready for another ground-focused attack. At the moment, there's no need to invest into Hydras. There's not that much in the air. He can just go Roach, Ravager, Ling, and just go for it. Just send it, mate. That's all he needs. And that is all he is making. He's got a 4th base on the way. Like, he is perfectly fine here. Oh, ay. Pacomike really having a rough time is trying to transition into +1 Blink Stalkers. Makes sense, especially against Roach Ravager. Stalkers are what you want alongside Immortals, alongside Disruptors, but Pacomike needs time. He needs time to get out his Robotics Bay and finish it up and get those Disruptors and get Blink Stalkers and all this stuff. Yo, but Ryu, he's already setting up the highway. This is great. You know, we got creep all over the place. We got creep tumors all over the place. Massive rally of queens, roaches, and ravagers. This is gonna hit hard. To be fair, this is a pretty well defended position. We have plenty of energy for force fields. We have cannons. We have shield batteries. Oh god, but Ryu wants in. Oh, nice force fields. They are going to be bowed down though. Never mind, one Immortal gets picked up for free. Ay, mate, you need your Immortals. Meanwhile, Ryu, he's going to take a little bit of time. He's focusing down these rocks, but the rocks will go down. And again, only one Immortal with this army. The Roach Ravager, it's going in. It's focusing down everything here. Pacomike, he's throwing down all these shield batteries, but they're too late. One overcharge is being used and it's keeping a lot alive, but it gets biled down. No, never mind, it just barely stays alive, but there's just so much Zerg here. Can Pacomike really hold? Maybe. He's warping in a lot of Stalkers. Oh, but the shield batteries are eventually biled down, but the Lings are getting cleaned up, so there's not that much buffer for the Roaches. Oh god, Pacomike, he's trying to trade as best he can, but he loses another Immortal. Oh my god, loses the Warpism as well. Pacomike, please, he's falling apart. Or is he? His Warpins are on point. The Disruptor did come out. Disruptor does get a connection. Pacomike may hold here, but he does sustain a lot of losses. As 15 drones went down, everything in the mineral line went down. The Immortal count basically reset. Warpism was taken out, which means that Pacomike can't counterattack. And there's creep right outside his base. Well, at his base. In his base. There's creep everywhere. Oh god. Bit of a Ling run by, does get intercepted. Ryu, he didn't forget about taking up. This is great. This is sometimes Ryu does tunnel vision too much, but not this time. Hive is done, Vipers are on the way, upgrades are on the way. Vipers are going to be the nail in the coffin here. Once the Vipers show up, abduct the Disruptor, abduct the Colossus, mate, there's gonna be nothing left. Sharp Shot goes off, gets a lot of creep. It's something, definitely something. We do have double robot production, which is important, so we're going to have plenty of Disruptors and Colossus, so it's possible that Ryu won't have enough energy for enough abducts. Also possible that because we have Blink Stalkers, they are able to protect the Disruptors and focus down those Vipers. Meanwhile, Pylon does get piled down. Ooh, Queen will get picked off. It's a little bit ambitious. Pacomike is expanding from here, and Ryu is focusing on the left-hand side of the map. So for now, Pacomike is getting away with this expansion. Oh. Ooh, no splits. Oh my god, split puppy. Oh god. Both Disruptor shots get massive connections. Ryu, he wants to fight though. Oh, he does yoink one Disruptor. Meanwhile, I think the Viper was sniped earlier. Oh my god, the Viper, please! Oh my god. Let's quickly check. Yes, the Viper was sniped. So Ryu only had one yoink, only one abduct. Meanwhile, a bit of a roach run by. Thankfully, Ryu doesn't let Pacomike get away with his space. He will punish him, he will deny it. Pacomike, he just doesn't have enough army supply. He cannot defend two places at once. So the Nexus is cancelled. Meanwhile, Ryu is just continuing to reinforce. More Vipers are coming out, gathering all of that important energy. We have a Spire on the way. If Ryu wants to, he can go into Mutas. Corruptors would be my tech of choice, but I mean, Mutas are a little bit more versatile. Got a lot of Colossus here. But you know what? Oh, he wasn't paying attention for a moment. The Immortal does get focused down, and now the Colossus are a little bit exposed. Here come the Vipers. Show me those yoinks. Yoinks the Disruptor, yoinks both Colossus. Oh, and that's gonna be GG. Yoinks everything. Disruptor shot goes off and it misses. GG gets called and Ryu ties up the series. Sideways 1-1. Meanwhile, shout out to Ranger in the chat. Ranger, of course, the best Protoss in Malaysia. One of the best Protoss in all of Oceania. Welcome to the stream. And my oh my, I need some goddamn water. Thank you, Arskater, I think, for redeeming Hydrate Your Hydras. I will get into the lobby and then go and get some water. So I do apologize. So I quickly try and set up. Mexico. Let's go. Game 3. As a reminder, this is not the ace match. This is the grand final, so this is a best of 5. Oh no, Ryu, no! I just came back with some water and Ryu's DC, no! Ay. Thank you for the wait. I did just go and grab a glass of water for my throat. But oh, are we back? Are we good? Okay, it looks like we are good. And here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Lightshade Ellie. Ryu does ask for a pause. Hopefully everything's okay. Oh. I cannot. I cannot speak to the players. Ooh, because of that lag. Ryu is asking to restart because everything was delayed here. His Overlord was delayed, actually. Ooh. It's on Paco. They can't see me. Paco, please. Okay, they remake. It's all good. Makes plenty of sense. Oh. And here we go. Yeah, Ryu's saying that sometimes randomly his internet does disconnect. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. Best toss in C. True. Ranger, he is the best Protoss in Southeast Asia. I think we can say that with confidence. Long gone are the days of Justice Simon, Thok Lao, Quantel, Psycho. They pale in comparison compared to Ranger. But here we go. Now finally diving into game number 3. We are tied up 1-1 in this best of 5 finals and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Lightshade LE. We have the Mexican Protoss. He is blue, representing Alpha X. It is Pacomike. And spawning in the top left hand corner of Lightshade LE, we have the Peruvian Zerg player. He's red, representing one of the greatest teams out there, representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is Ryu. Messing up a little bit there. I don't know if you noticed, but those drones kind of panicked a little bit. It looked like he boxed them and then accidentally clicked, and then boxed them again and then clicked elsewhere, and they were just panicking, going all over the place. But it's okay. Not the biggest of deals. Just a little bit of lost mining time. You can see there. You can see the spike change. But yeah, we are getting into game 3, and this will dictate who has momentum in this series, because we're tied up right now. You know, no one is ahead by any means. A lot of it will come down to this game. And because we're on Lightshade, honestly, I kind of want a Glaive Adept's push, right? Like, the rush distance by ground is pretty short. Opening up with a Twilight Council, I wouldn't be opposed to it personally. I think it would do well. So don't do it, Pacomike. At the same time, Ryu does have really good Glaive Adept defense, so maybe he'll be able to have a decent time against it as well. We'll see. Ooh, as Pacomike goes for a proxy. Let's go. Proxy pylon here towards the north side of the map. He is currently waiting for the Cybercore to finish up, and then I imagine we're going to see a Stargate. Huh. Huh. Show us the Stargate. Or Twilight Council. We'll see. So just kind of waiting. There it is. Was a little bit mistimed, but there we go. The Stargate does get thrown down, so we are going to see our proxy, I imagine, Oracle just dive across the map and maybe get a lot of damage done. Would be a very Chad move if he goes for a Void Ray instead. Meanwhile, yo, Ryu, he's scouting, he's looking, and he went. Oh, will he see it? Oh, it's going to be really close. He does not see it. He's scouting all along the north side of the map, which makes sense. This is where a proxy would be, but it's not where it is. At the same time, there was an adept here in the main. As we can hear the Abathur announcer, sorry, Dahaka announcer, which is what Ryu is using. At the same time, his Zings get in and he sees nothing, so he knows that there is a proxy. 100%. 100% he knows, he just doesn't know what it is. He's looking. He's so close. He's so close. And there we go. He sees it. He confirms. Oh my god, an Oracle's on the way. It's about to pop out. Oh god, Spore thrown down immediately. But it's too late. Oracle's already out. Where are the queens? The queens are coming in. Are they going to make it in time? Oh god. Looks like the first queen is here. Is it going to be enough? Pacomike ignores it. He just dives and goes straight into the mineral line. Gets one drone. Gets two. Ooh, but almost goes down. And those things, ooh, they're gonna depower the proxy. Oh, they scattered it so late, but they still get the pylon. This is huge for Ryu. Honestly, this proxy hasn't paid for itself. 2 drones is not enough. Ay, ay, ay. And now, Pacomike is forced to transition. We have a Twilight Council on the way. We've got a bunch of gateways on the way. Is this going to be Glaive Adepts? There's no Forge. There is no Forge. And I guess Glaive Adepts could work, but it feels late. Because it is late. Because he invested in the Stargate. Are we going to see DTs? Maybe. DTs could work. There we go. Glaives is on the way. It makes the most sense. Again, we didn't see a Forge, which means that there's no like transition into it, or he doesn't want to hit a later timing and invest in his army. He's just going straight Glaive Adepts right now. We have 6 gateways, which is pretty good to be honest. Like 6 gate Glaive Adepts can hit hard. The problem is that there's no Robo. There is no War Prism. So there's no way to reinforce across the map. So he just has to warp in whatever he can now and just shade across. So this is a really rough position for Pacomike. It hasn't been scattered, I don't think. Only 2 adepts, 3 adepts so far, which could be telling. Ryu, he's focusing on droning up right now. Oh, he could be caught with his pants down a little bit. Like, Pacomike's like quote-unquote going for another base, but he doesn't necessarily care about this. Oh my god. As the adepts are going to be cleaned up, but again, look at this. This is crazy. 12 adepts rushing across the map and they aren't seen. Ryu, okay, he gets a glimpse of it, but it may be too late. What is there to defend at home? Queens and queens. These adepts are going to get a lot of damage done if they get into a mineral line. And there is the shade. The adepts are focusing down whatever they can. These queens will fall. 1 queen goes down. Oh, transfused just barely in time. And every single queen is going to get picked off. Glaive adepts, they're pretty good. Every single queen, but they bought enough time for roaches. But there aren't that many roaches. These roaches, they're being focused down as well. Good. So far, no drones have gone down. Only 1 drone has fallen. More adepts are showing up though, and they're starting to snowball. Just going head to head against the roaches of Ryu. Every single queen does go down, and now the drones are under threat. Oh, they're being pulled, but 4 drones did get focused down. Is there enough here? It looks like Ryu may be able to clean this up. Same time, ooh, bit of a misrally. Oh no, this is going to be painful. Okay, only gets 1 drone. Meanwhile, nice block here with the Evo Chamber. Does stop these adepts from going into the natural. Again, he's kind of known for this. He does this whenever he can. And Ryu defends. Honestly, that could have been a lot worse. That should have been a lot worse. I would have expected an entire mineral line to go down. Only 10 drones. It's not that bad, to be honest. But it was enough for Pacomike to kind of justify it. And now he's got a 3rd base, fully saturated. Yo, we got immortals. Like, we're getting into the mid game. Pacomike needed to deal that damage. Otherwise, he would have been in a really rough place, especially with that really rough start. There we go. Now we have our Forge. We got Blink Stalkers on the way. Immortals. I would love a Robotics Bay for some disruptors, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Pacomike, he's just ramping things up. And so is Ryu. Ryu, he's taking a 4th base. Droning up. Trying to re-drone, I should say. Pacomike is still ahead in workers, which is kind of yikes, to be honest. Ryu needs to drone up a little bit harder. Oh, nice. Picks off the Oracle. Oracle does go down. And I don't know how I feel about this. I kind of like it, I guess, but Ryu is going for a Spire. I think this is Mutas. I think Ryu wants to go Mutas, but against Blink Stalkers, you need a lot of Mutas. You need a snowball, mate. We'll see. We'll see if you can pull it off. Meanwhile, here comes Pacomike. Blink is done. Immortals are out. No Warp Prism, though. And no +1. +1 just started. I think the +1 was a little bit delayed there. I think he forgot about it for a little bit. And we'll see if Pacomike has enough here. Sorry, I did miss the Warp Prism. My apologies. The Warp Prism did come out. With this Warp Prism, ooh, and he bios himself a little bit as well. Not the best fight here for Ryu. It does get forced back. Oh my god, the piles do connect though. That Immortal almost went down. Pacomike is having a hard time pushing down this ramp. But he does back off. Ryu traded just well enough. And now the Spire is done. Show us the Mutas. Are we going to see them? Mutas will be able to shut down the Warp Prism, which will be easier for defense. Oh my god, the Lings actually get into the natural. Oh my god, the wall was not a wall. And some probes will fall at the same time. This Warp Prism gets spotted. Queens are here to defend against it. The main army tries to push in, but Ryu's main army is here to meet it. And in the end, all these Lings will get cleaned up, but they honestly dealt a decent amount of damage. Also, this Warp Prism has to be careful because it can totally get piled down. I don't know if it's worth revealing the Mutas to kill the Warp Prism. as I do not believe the mutas have been spotted yet. Oh god, but here comes the main army, and I don't think there are enough mutas. Oh, the disruptors! No! Bobby, please! One goes down, a second goes down. Oh no, Pacomike, not like this! Not like this! Oh god, he didn't get a single shot off. He's remaking the disruptors, but oh god. That was a big loss. Meanwhile, here comes the third disruptor. This time should get a shot off. Maybe, hopefully. At the same time, mutas are going to be getting into the main base of Pacomike. This has been unscouted. The mutas will deal damage. They are enough to one-shot these probes. Meanwhile, at the same time, Pacomike, he wants to push in. He wants to try and catch Ryu off guard. But Ryu, he's here. He's paying attention. The disruptor. Shot goes off. Ooh, good shots. Most of the roaches get taken out. Only a handful of Ravagers left. Not a lot of buffer for them. But the Immortal overextends. The Biles, they miss. And there's not enough on the ground here. Pacomike is going to push on forward. And it looks like this base is forfeit. Pacomike will take a base, but at the same time, those mutas, they're cleaned up. Oh my god. Oh my god. Pacomike, is he doing it? He takes the base. And Ryu barely has anything. Again, going for those mutas was not the play. He's just trying to rebuild with Roach Ravager, and Roach Ravager, it falls off after a certain point. Imagine if instead of Aspire, this was the Hydra Den, and then we had Lurkers come out, right? Instead, we still have mutas on the way. We do have Vipers coming out here for Ryu. Vipers are going to be massive. Is it going to be enough though? Oh god, the disruptor! Oh! Paco, please. Paco, you gotta stop rallying your disruptors. More disruptors just get rallied in. Stop! Come back home! Oh my god. Paco, please. Pacomike does get forced away. Ryu is looking to double expand here, which is kind of what I was waiting for. Again, like, Ryu's economy hasn't been amazing. He doesn't have a bank, is what I should say, which is what's worrying. Meanwhile, the mutas actually managed to catch this Zealot run by, so they're going to be able to clean this up. Ryu trying to reestablish some of his bases. There are two disruptors with this army, so Ryu does have to be careful. So does Pacomike, because he honestly hasn't had good disruptor control this game. It's been a little bit monk-ass, if you ask me. We do have a bit of a roach run by. Oh, Pacomike does push in. One disrupt shot goes off, and it doesn't connect. One purification nova remaining. Meanwhile, it looks like this hatchery will go down. Pacomike, he needs to deal with this. Ooh, and he will get both disruptors, and now Pacomike can commit to the fight. Both Immortals go down as well. Only Stalkers remaining, and he didn't even get the base. I thought he got the base. Oh no. Massive losses here for Pacomike. The War Prism left alone. The War Prism gets biled down. No reaction there from Paco. Paquito, please. Ryu is the one with internet problems. Ay, ay, ay. And now more biles do connect. There are two disruptors here that are going to come in, and this will change the flow of this fight. But you know what? Those Vipers, they've been sucking on them buildings, getting plenty of that juice going. They're going to be ready for those abducts. Only two disruptors. To be fair, there's only one Viper, which is surprising to me. I thought there were more earlier, but I guess they were sniped. The Viper! Go, you have to be careful. It gets focused down. Doesn't get a yoink. Oh, beautiful disruptor connections. Oh my god. That's exactly what Pacomike needed. But is it enough? There's still so much supply for Ryu. As Ryu does focus down these disruptors, the Banelings, they try to get connections on the Blink Stalkers. The Blink Stalkers, though, are trading so well against the Roach Ravager. At the same time, massive Link run by in the natural base of Pacomike. He's going to lose everything here in the natural, maybe even the main base. But he doesn't care. What he cares about are the Blink Stalkers. And honestly, there's not that much here to defend. Once again, I think Ryu may lose the base. He's committed, though. He pushes on forward. He's trying to force Pacomike back. And he kind of is. Meanwhile, the natural nexus does go down. Zealots are being warped in to defend those, so Pacomike should be safe at home. Now he can focus on his Blink Stalkers. Stalker Micro, pretty good. Does avoid the Ravager shots. Another Disruptor shows up, but I believe, yes, the Vipers have been safe behind the main army. They can abduct. It's going to be so difficult for Pacomike to engage here. I like this though. He goes for a run by. Going for that base, but the mutas are waiting. Oh my god. These mutas are the MVPs. Disruptor comes in. Oh, does kill one queen, but doesn't get yoinked. Somehow, some way, it should get yoinked in the end. Oh. Actually goes for Archons instead. Okay, I mean, sure, I guess that works. See a couple of feedbacks. There we go. Does get a yoink on that Disruptor. And there are barely any Blink Stalkers left. Like, sure, they're like being efficient, I guess, but Pacomike is losing a lot of ground here. And again, he lost the base earlier. Disruptor shot goes off. Gets 3 Ravagers, but it's not going to be enough. There's just far too much Zerg here. And it looks like finally Ryu, he's breaking Pacomike. Pacomike has been doing so well trading, just not doing so well keeping his Disruptors alive. Oh god. He survives. He pushes away Ryu. But you do not want to be a Disruptor in Pacomike's army. Look, there's a reason why Pacomike goes for Skytoss, okay? Void Rays, Carriers, High Templar, these are things that Pacomike can control. Disruptors, not so much. Oh no! The High Templar! Oh my god, that was like 4 High Templar. They got picked off for free! Jesus Christ, the Archons even are getting picked off. One of them, only one survives. Not even. All the High Templar and the Archons get taken out. There's nothing left. Only pure Blink Stalker. That was a massive loss for Pacomike. Throws are big in this game. I mean, you're not wrong there, buddy. As Ryu is going to be able to take out this game, take out this base and the game. Purification Nova misses. GG gets called. And Ryu takes the lead in this series. Oh my god, how I should have checked, but how many Disruptors did Pacomike lose that game? That was terrifying. Paca, you gotta look after your Disruptors. They're your boys. They're so good. Keep them alive. Get more than 1 shot off, or at least get 1 shot off. There were like maybe 5 Disruptors or 6 Disruptors in total that got picked off before they managed to get a Purification Nova off. Ay ay ay. And with that, Ryu leads the series here. Ryu needs 1 more, uno más, and he is our Copa Hyperion champion. Meanwhile, I almost said Starduck because Starduck just came online. Pacomike needs to bring it back. Where's that Skytoss? Show it to us. See, as it looks like the players are still creating their lobby. Maybe checking to see what the vetoes were. There we go. Lobby's been made. Let's dive in. Just setting up the flags. There we go. And this is it. Potentially the final game of the series. It's going to be on Oxide. And what will Pacomike go for? He's tried the Adepts. He's tried the Blink Stalkers. He tried the charge opening. To be fair, he had the most success with that. But we'll see what he goes for here in game number 4. As spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Mexican Protoss representing Alpha X. It is Pacomike. The best Protoss out there. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Oxide LE, we have the Street Fighter himself. We have El Condor, Representing the CranKy Ducklings, it's the Zerg. It is Ryu. It was hard to understand who's winning until the end. I mean, yeah, I didn't like that Ryu went for the mutas, for example. Ryu wasted a lot of resources going for those mutas, and it almost cost him the game, if you recall, because he spent a lot of his bank on the mutas, not on his main army. That's why Ryu kept losing his 4th base. He could barely hold on to it. On the flip side of things, Pacomike, he didn't look after his disruptors, and he just kept losing them one after the other. I don't think he ever had like more than 3 at a time. Maybe even not more than 2 at a time. The disruptor count just never got high enough. On top of that, it took him a really long time to transition into Storm, into Archons, into anything else. So in the end, I do think that Pacomike struggled with control of his army. Meanwhile, Ryu, maybe not the best decision making. I do think that Ryu, when it came to his army movements and stuff, like, it was on point. You know, when it came to his Vipers, keeping them alive, getting those abducts off, biling as often as he could, I do think that those were definitely on point for Ryu. But again, deciding to go for the Spire early on, it did hurt him. Hurt him quite a bit. So we'll see. We'll see what these two players have in store for us here. Ryu has been favoring the Muta style in this matchup. We saw him go mass Muta earlier against Jim Rising. It's cool. It's flashy when it works, but it's also very risky. Setting out the national anthems and borders. Let's go. I don't know the national anthem for Mexico and Peru. I apologize. I have heard the Peruvian one, obviously, because I am Peruvian, but I don't know it off by heart. Got no idea, mate. I don't even know the Aussie national anthem. Let's be real. I know what it's called, Australia Fair. I just don't. I never learned it. Meanwhile, Ryu does get his expansion a little bit late. Later than he would have liked. Meanwhile, Pacomike is not opening up with Stargate, he's opening up with a Twilight Council. Are we going to see Glaive Adepts again, or is he going to go for a Dark Shrine? Ling gets in. Ling scouts. Ooh, feels bad, man. Pacomike was trying so hard to deny that scout. And of course, it is a Dark Shrine. That is typically what we go for, especially when there's only one gateway. So, yeah, Dark Shrine does get thrown down, and I feel like Ryu should have a good idea. You saw the Twilight Council? Saw only one gateway. You can deduce that it is going to be DTs. We should see at least one Spore, but Ryu needs to confirm this. From Peru, sí, el peruano, mate, el peruano. El Condor himself. Gotta whip out the copy pastas. But yeah, I'm a little bit concerned. Ryu should get a safety. Oh, did he see? Hold on. He saw. Wow, this Dark Shrine is close enough to the wall where that Ling actually saw the Dark Shrine. That's crazy. Really unfortunate position there by Pacomike. I'm a little bit worried. There we go. Spores are on the way. Double spores even. Ryu knows. He's so good. He's ready for the DTs. Meanwhile, one DT does get warped in. It's here at the wall. Waiting for the Warp Prism. Couple more DTs. 3 in total. 4 in total. Let's go. We're gonna run across the map. And again, to be fair, if these DTs don't deal damage, they can just morph into Archons and then deal damage that way. Like, it's not incredibly committed. Would be nice to catch your opponent off guard where they don't have detection, but Ryu has plenty of that detection. Here come the DTs, here comes the Warp Prism. We'll see where he goes. In the main, there's a Spore in every single base of Ryu. There's a Warp Prism, sorry, there are Overlords as well, and he spots the Warp Prism. Does he react? Does he react? He does. just barely. Meanwhile, we see a massive Ling counterattack, but there are DTs at home to defend, so Pacomike holds onto his third base. Meanwhile, these DTs, ooh, they get a queen. Yo, they almost get a Ravager as well. Well, they did get one, they almost got two. Honestly, a lot of value. And now he can just morph them into Archons. Yeah. So we have moved on from the early game, going into the mid game. Pacomike, he was able to protect his third base, so now his third is up and running. Ryu needs a fourth. Ryu is still stuck on 3. He needs to expand at some point. He needs one of these bases. These Archons are going to be annoying, and if Ryu does try to take the space, the Archons will show up and will force a cancel. So yeah, Ryu being forced to expand in a less than ideal place over to the right. Oh. Orphism does get low. Ooh, there are DTs though. I think maybe Ryu tried to expand, but the DTs were able to stop that. And I'm getting really worried, actually. Ryu needs a... Okay, there we go. He does take another base, but the Archons are here. Oh, it goes straight for the Ravagers. And he gets one. He gets the tumor. Thankfully, Ryu is getting another base. We see double Evo Chambers on the way for those upgrades. At the moment, Ryu is staying on Roach Ravager Ling, which isn't a bad thing. Isn't a bad thing at all. But what's worrisome is that Pacomike is going for Blink Stalkers and Immortals. So this is opening up pretty similar to last game. But the problem is that what Ryu is missing here is... part of me wouldn't mind Aspire, to be honest. Wouldn't mind it, but there are all these Archons, so he wouldn't be able to deal with it. This is turning out pretty similar to the last game when it comes to Roach Ravager. We'll see. There are no disruptors here, so Ryu doesn't have to worry about splitting. I see Flamio in the chat talking about trying to split against disruptors. That's kind of true. There were some very juicy disruptor shots. It is difficult to split Roach Ravager against disruptor. I will say that there. That's why disruptors are so good against Roach Ravager. Ooh, meanwhile, base is forced to be cancelled here at the 4th. Pacomike is pushing in. There is some Roach Ravager here, but this is a very scary Protoss army. And the base is gonna fall. The base does go down. Ryu can't really do anything to stop that. Meanwhile, Ling run by at the 3rd. Ooh, is gonna get damage and forces a recall. Ryu doing very well with those Lings, giving him a lot of breathing room. But Ryu was stuck on 3 bases. It's such a big deal that Ryu's 4th was killed. Like, that's huge. Thankfully, it looks like Pacomike, like, after killing his base, he's content with that, and he's just backing off. We see he's transitioning into Colossus. I don't know if I like that, but I understand it. Obviously, Disruptors would be better right now. Disruptors would be a much better choice. But based off of Pacomike's control, maybe he himself acknowledges it, and he's like, yo, I'm not gonna... He's like, I don't know if I want to risk going for Disruptors again. Like, Colossus are a more consistent form of AoE damage. As we do get a pause here from Ryu. Oh. Huh. 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 Ah, beautiful. I have kind of awkward keys for enter, so I may have hit the wrong button a couple of times, but it's fine. We made it through. But there we go. Pacomike, he is diversifying his AoE, which I like this a lot more. Get a couple of Colossus and a couple of Disruptors, right? Just cover your bases, you know? You aren't so committed into Disruptors where if they get picked off, you don't have any more splash damage. Like, that's a terrifying situation to be in that Pacomike was in before. So I do like that Pacomike has learned from his previous game, and now he's refining his army a little bit more. And this is scary for Ryu. Like, if you're Ryu, if you don't have Hydras and Lurkers, it's so difficult to deal with this. Like, with how focused this army is on ground, like, Hydra, Lurker, Viper is what you want to go for. Not a Spire. Oh boy. To be fair, there are only 3 Archons, so maybe if he kills all the Archons, maybe Mutas can do something. Meanwhile, Ryu was doing a really good job at just keeping Pacomike back, but Pacomike, he gets up the ramp! Oh no. Now that he's up the ramp, he does force a cancel on this base. At the same time, we see a Zealot run back here at the 3rd base. Ryu, he's being pulled apart. The main army is still pushing into the 4th. There are some spines here, so that will definitely help with the defense, and it looks like Ryu will be able to clean up these Zealots, but 11 drones go down. And now here come the reinforcements. Ryu, he's being pulled apart. The Spire did nothing, Ryu. Oh god. And Pacomike can just keep pushing. There's nothing stopping him. There's barely any Roach Ravager left. He just needs to thin out the gateway units. He needs to get on top of the Colossus, but he just can't do it. Vipers are on the way, but they're a little bit too late. Yo, Disruptor Shot goes off. More drones are falling. He's committed to this attack now. He's trying to get on top of the army, but he just can't do it. GG gets called. And Pacomike ties up the series 2-2. Pacomike being so aggressive, keeping Ryu on 3 bases, just consistently hitting that 4th, hitting that 5th. And Ryu, once again, he was trying to sneak over towards Spire. Instead, yeah. Couldn't really get away with it this time. He barely got away with it last time, to be fair. And now we are in the ace match. This is not correct. Ah. Hold on, let me try and fix this. There we go. The scenes may have broken a little bit there. It's sad Blizzard removed the red Archon. Yeah. I don't know how dark Archons would have really worked in StarCraft 2. I guess we have it in co-op, I guess, question mark. But yeah, oh god. That was a really, really strong push there by Pacomike. Again, Ryu just kind of investing in tech in a different direction and didn't have enough to defend his bases. Barely had any creep spread going outside his 4th base, but that's also because he kept losing his 4th base. Earlier Vipers would have helped when it comes to shutting down those Colossus and those Disruptors, but yeah, unfortunately wasn't able to deal with it in the end. Meanwhile, thank you so much, Stars Fallen Dim, for the raid. Oh my. I hope you enjoyed your stream. I'm sorry, I'm unfamiliar with you. I don't think I've caught your stream. I assume that you stream StarCraft, I assume. But thank you so much for the raid. We appreciate it, as we are here in the grand finals of Copa Hyperion number 20. As this is, if you're wondering, this is a bi-weekly Latin American only tournament. It's exclusive for players from South and Central America. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Romanticide LE, we have the Peruvian Zerg player. He is red, representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is Ryu. And spawning in the top left hand corner of Romanticide LE, we have the Mexican Protoss. He's blue, representing Team Alpha X. It is Pacomike. And really, this is the only way it could have ended. We're in the ace match. This is it. This is the final game of the entire tournament. This is where it all ends. It's been a bit of a longer tournament, but a lot of that did have to do with Eric versus Terran. It was a very long series. One of their games lasted 40 minutes on its own. And the other game was like 25. So yeah, a very long quarterfinals match that we had with Eric versus Terran. But now we are here in the grand finals, and I kind of hope Pacomike goes for Skytoss. I know that Ryu was very comfortable against that, but again, if Pacomike wants to win this, make those laser giraffes, you know? Just focus on those Colossus, those Disruptors, and you can do well. But we'll see. We'll see where this takes us. Again, thank you, Stars Fall and Dim, for the raid. Definitely appreciate it. Here on the CranKy Ducklings, we mainly focus on casting tournaments. We cast tournaments essentially daily, sometimes multiple times a day. Today we only have one tournament. Tomorrow we have two. Tomorrow we are casting Battle of the Americas and ESL Open Cup Asia. So we have plenty of StarCraft here on this channel. And yes, as someone is throwing down the code or the command in the chat, !Macherino in the chat if you want to help support this tournament. I believe all the codes have been used up, but I could be wrong. You can use code HYP20 to add $1 for free to the prize pool. And here we go. We're going back to the norm here as Pacomike on Romanticide opens up with a Stargate, which makes sense. Romanticide is the largest map in the map pool. Mexico is NA though. It is North America, but that's why I tried to clarify Central America, as Mexico is a part of Central America. So Central and South. Here in Copa Hyperion. Central America being like Mexico, Cuba, Puerto Rico, Guyana, I think Guyana. The Dominican Republic. I'm just spitballing here. I'm not 100% sure about all those countries being in Central America, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, here we go. So I'm a little bit relieved here for Ryu, because again, Ryu has a much easier time against Stargate. At the same time, we're on Romanticide, and Romanticide is probably the best map for Stargate play. For Skytoss play, I should say, just because of how large it is, because it's so much easier to expand and protect your bases. Like getting a 4th base and getting a 5th base is very straightforward on this map. As a Protoss player, you can take them and defend them relatively easily, and that is why Pacomike goes straight for a fleet beacon. He is not wasting any time, just going straight into that fleet beacon and a second Stargate. Oh boy. So again, this is kind of what we expect from Pacomike, and Ryu should be anticipating this. He obviously did see the first Void Ray, but he hasn't confirmed anything else. What's also important is what is the next step. Pacomike, he's not making any more Void Rays, there we go, because he was waiting for the Fleet Beacon. So he is going straight into carriers. And Ryu needs to scout this. He has no idea. Void Ray shows up. Gonna deal a little bit of damage. The Queens will be able to deal with this, but again, he needs to realize that carriers are on the way so he can get ready for them. So he can either go into Hydras or Corruptors and hit some kind of timing. Because if you don't end things early, Pacomike has such an early lead with his carrier count. It gets really scary, borderline OP, with how many carriers you can get how quickly. So yeah, Ryu has to punish this greed, because Pacomike is skipping a lot to jump to carrier tech. And we'll see how Ryu responds. At the moment, he still doesn't know. He hasn't gone in, he hasn't even checked the 3rd. Has a couple of lings out on the map, so he will get an eye on things. Carrier comes to the natural. Will the carrier reveal itself? Is the question. Ling gets the 3rd. Carrier moves out. Will it get spotted? Oh god, oh god. It doesn't get spotted. Oh god, Ryu still doesn't know. He has no idea. He's working on his lair, which is a good thing. He's got plenty of queens. Carriers are moving out, still haven't been spotted. But there are enough queens to defend against a carrier, because he has this many queens to defend against Void Rays. Carriers are making a beeline for the main base. And I love this. Spire is the tech of choice. So we're going to be seeing Corruptors or Mutas as an answer here. Ryu could go for either one. They both have their pros and cons. Mutas being a little bit more flexible, being a lot faster. Meanwhile, carriers reveal themselves. Ryu knows now 100%. Interesting, Ryu is still going for +1 range, so it looks like he may try and hit a kind of queen timing across the map. Meanwhile, here come the carriers. There are plenty of queens to defend. It's going to be really difficult for these carriers to really find a lot of damage here. Oh god, the carriers need to be careful of the queens. As I said before, they're trying to focus on the carriers. Again, these carriers are quite slow. But they should escape, you know, as soon as they get off creep. Yeah, they will be able to just slowly walk away. And again, I love this. So +1 is going to finish up soon. Going to have some Corruptors come out with the Spire. And Ryu, he can hit pretty hard with this. Pacomike realizes this, and he is going for Zealots, which is the right call. You need something to support your Sky Toss, and he's going to go for Charge Archon. Charge Archons are going to come out first, and if those Charge Archons can get on top of these queens and protect the carriers, and the carriers can just kind of dish out all that DPS, then this fight is going to go very well for Pacomike. He just needs to make sure he keeps his carriers alive and doesn't lose any prematurely. Oh boy, oh boy. Meanwhile, the queens do focus down one of the Void Rays, I believe. Yeah, one Void Ray does go down, but it took a lot to make that happen, to be honest. LatAm is all Spanish-speaking, America and Brazil. True. As he does come back home, it does force a recall. And now let's take stock. 5 carriers right now. 5 carriers and 2 Void Rays. And here come the High Templar. No Storm though. These are for Archons. Meanwhile, here come the Corruptors for Ryu. And I am a little bit concerned. We do have a lair. We do not have an Infestation Pit. So Ryu is not going for Vipers. He's looking to try and catch some of these carriers a little bit unawares. And they could. There are High Templar here. No Storm though. These would be much better as Archons. Here come the Corruptors. They try and focus down the Nexus. And again, Pacomike, he's like posturing with this, pretending like he has Storm, but yo, I think if Ryu realized that there was no Storm, he probably could have committed. But maybe there aren't enough Corruptors. It's hard to say. As the Road Ravager is going across the map, we're going to try and take down this 4th base. At the same time, Corruptors try and sneak their way in. They keep the attention of the carriers here, over to the north, and the Road Ravager are just doing whatever they can here at the 4th. As all these Zealots are going to be cleaned up, and now the 4th base is under threat. At the same time, oh, the Corruptors come in. They're trying to catch one of these carriers. Oh, not quite, not yet. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Forced to fight some of these interceptors, and yes, it looks like the 4th base will go down. Pacomike being very greedy there, but again, the carriers that were kept busy, and they were not here to defend. Oh my god, what? The Nexus survives! No, Ryu, please! It only took 1 more shot, or a couple of Ravager shots. Oh god, Pacomike keeping this base alive is huge. Ah, big mistake there from Ryu. What was all of that for? Investing all those roaches and Ravagers, he comes in, files a little bit, I guess. Now he's throwing down his Infestation Pit. Now he's working on his Hive. Really rough start there for Ryu. Because now Pacomike he's maxed out. He's not just maxed out, he has Storm, he has Archons. He's gonna be working on Flux Veins, I imagine, next. Like, this is scary. Meanwhile, here come the Zealots. They're gonna hit the natural base, kill a queen, and then be cleaned up. Not the biggest of deals. You know, it does affect the macro of Ryu. Meanwhile, at the same time, these Corruptors are trying to find something. The carriers are pushing into creep. Corruptors respond. Maybe try and pick off a carrier here or there. Oh, the Void Rays. He notices, he wants them. Oh, but Pacomike responds. Ryu misses a small opportunity there. Ryu does expand. He's taking a couple more bases. His creep spread has much to be desired. He lost a lot of queens early on, and now he doesn't have a lot of creeping queens. This is a big deal. Lack of creep spread on Romanticide is actually massive. Like, Ryu, he's going to have a lot less vision out on the map. Pacomike is going to have a lot more freedom to just maneuver undetected and expand. Like, the lack of creep spread it does matter. Meanwhile, these roaches are going to get surrounded. They're going to be dealt with. Completely cleaned up. Finally, the hive is done, so here come the Vipers. The Vipers, they are a game changer when it comes to the main army engagements. They do need a little bit of time to gather energy. Ultralisk Cavern is on the way. Still, Ryu needs time for Ultras, though. It's going to be about whether he can buy enough time. Can he survive long enough to get the Ultras, to get the upgrades, to get the Vipers? And again, due to zero creep spread here, Pacomike just shows up, gets a free base. Meanwhile, Ryu, he's just kind of busy dealing with all these gateway units, and Pacomike, he's not stopping, he's going straight into the natural. Oh god. Ryu is here with his Corruptors, and he is able to push us away a little bit, but he has to be so careful because of the storms. And here they come. Storms only connecting with the roaches and the queens, not too bad. At the same time, no! The Zealots, they're getting the base! Ay, ay, ay. Ryu, please, the hatchery goes down. Ryu just lost 2 hatcheries. Could lose another. There is some stacked events here, but again, Zealots are pretty good. Charge Zealots especially. As they mow through the spines, they're going to clean up these roaches, get on top of the second spine, get on top of the next spine. Again, these spines are just meant to buy time. They're not meant to be the solution to Zealot run-bys. Now all those spines will need to be rebuilt. More importantly, the bases need to be retaken. Like, we need more bases here. Ryu, he's trying to expand to the south. Again, very little creep spread. And Pacomike, he's getting the ultimate Protoss army. A mothership is coming out. Oh my god. Two more Stargates. Oh, this is getting really worrisome for Ryu. At this point of the game, like, you need spores. You need a spore forest. You need your army, a spore forest, like the best engagements, the best Ultralisk, like the best like surround on the High Templar. Without static defense to help your army, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be very difficult. We do have, what, 3 High Templar underneath the army. And he's going for one of the bases. Ryu is forced to engage. The Ling Bane, they're getting on top of the High Templar. All the High Templar go down. The storms are done. Recall is used. Does leave 1 carrier behind. Nice engagement there by Ryu. But there's no follow-up because of recall. So Ryu, he defends. He holds onto his base. Now he goes on the offensive. Wants to try and hunt down some of those carriers. And these carriers are exposed. Yo, you can go for them. Ah, Ryu, he doesn't see. Oh, he sees them now. Does get a yoink off. Can you get another? Does get the mothership. Minus 400, minus 400. Beautiful. Storm connects. Oh my god, but the power bomb does connect as well, so some damage is done. Ryu trading very well here. Meanwhile, a Baneling run-by doesn't get into the mineral line at the same time as Zealot run-by does get into his mineral line, but there are ultras to clean up. Maybe too many ultras. Maybe too many. Ideally 4, right? Maybe 5, but ultras take a lot of supply. That's the problem with ultras. Meanwhile, as I quickly check the units, only 2 Vipers. You gotta make these Vipers count. It's so scary only having 2 Vipers just because of feedbacks. That is what Ryu is relying on. Meanwhile, he's throwing down another Spire for those upgrades. Here comes the Sky Toss. Ryu is able to intercept some of these chargelets, so these chargelets will be cleaned up. Ryu doesn't have eyes on the Sky Toss army quite yet. He is repositioning though. I believe one of the Lings earlier got a glimpse of them. Here we go. He's diving in. Oh. Does get 2 carriers. We'll see how many more he can get. Meanwhile, the Ultras are getting on top of the High Templar. Every single High Templar goes down. Now it's just the Sky Toss. Does Ryu have enough? Does he have enough Corruptors? Oh, he has a couple of Queens. No, the Vipers! The Vipers just barely stay alive. But it looks like the base will go down. God, Prismatic Alignment has run out for these Void Rays. The Vipers, they just need a little bit more energy to throw down the Parasitic Bombs. A little more, puppy, a little more. Here come the Corruptors. The Void Rays are all on their own, so all the Void Rays are going down. Meanwhile, here come the Vipers. There go the Power Bombs. And now every single one of these carriers would go down if there wasn't a recall. The recall does get used. And 5 carriers get saved. If it wasn't for the recall, everything would have gone down. But as that was happening, Pacomike, he killed the southern base. He kills the northern base. God. Ryu, his economy is in shambles. Meanwhile, he dives in, kills one of the carriers. Gets another for free. Yo, these Corruptors are finding so much damage here. The carriers do reveal themselves. Ryu has to be careful though. Storms is still a thing. Pacomike, please, where are the storms? The storms do land, but it's not enough. Every single Corruptor, every single carrier is going down. Oh my god, but the Corruptors are so low. So very low. Meanwhile, the Ultras, they decide to be useful a little bit, and they do come in. They do hit the third base. Pacomike sustaining a lot of losses there, but the problem is, if we look at the economy, Ryu is running out of money. He's tried to expand so many times, and he just can't hold on to his bases. It's disastrous. He needs to focus on, like, expanding here, to the south. Just give up on the northern expansions, like, try and, like, make it easier to defend your bases, you know? Instead of spreading yourself thin. And this is still a very scary army. Again, the ground army could win it for Pacomike. If all these Ultras fall, like, yo, Archons will reign supreme. There we go. Finally, this base has been taken. Finally, Ryu has some income. But he needs to, like, mine out this mineral patch and then take the rich base. Like, he needs more patcheries so badly. Here come the DTs. No, don't get a kill. Oh, he's gonna get a kill in this base. I know it. The Lings, they come in. Ay. Okay, there's detection. Thankfully, there's detection here. I was so worried. Meanwhile, here comes the Sky Toss army to kill the base again. No, Ryu, he doesn't see. He doesn't know. He sees it now. It's too late. The hatchery goes down. Ryu just doesn't have money. He's broke. This could be it. This could all be over. The Ultras, they come back home. Ryu's got 1 fight left in him. Uno mas. Yoinks the mothership. Doesn't even get the kill. Feedbacks land. Storms land. And this is it, mate. Pacomike has done it. G gets called. Pacomike is our Copa Hyperion champion. Took a gamble with that one. Hold on. Congratulations, Pacomike. Oh my god. Ryu was fighting so well, but he just couldn't hold on to his bases. He couldn't do it. He lost his queens early on. He never rebuilt them. He didn't ever respread his creep there, and because of that, he was just blind. Every single time the army came towards the south, he wasn't ready for it, or towards the north. And Pacomike bled him dry. GG, well played. Congratulations for both of these players for making it all the way to the finals. Top 2 players do get paid out. and they did deserve coming this far. It was very impressive. Ryu took down Jim Rising. Meanwhile, Pacomike took down Eric. Both players had some very tough opponents, but in the end, Pacomike was the champion. It did go all the way to the ace match, and Ryu almost pulled it off there, but Pacomike, again, there's a reason why he's the best Protoss in Latin America. He's a very, very good player. Congratulations. Well deserved. Yes, as Flamio was saying in the chat, Pacomike is better at macro, but Ryu is better at fighting. True. Ryu, he had the better engagements. Like, macro is a very, like, encompassing term. It's not like Ryu was missing injects. It's not like Ryu was missing or wasn't droning up. It came down to Ryu, his vision, really, right? Because he was losing his bases just because he didn't know where the army was most of the time. Like, he couldn't react in time because of the creep spread, because of, even if it isn't creep spread, like having spotterlings or spotter overlords, like anything like that. Like, vision helps so much, especially on a map like Romanticide, which is so large, right? You can be very easily spread apart and spread too thin. But yes, congratulations, Pacomike. And that is the end of today's tournaments. To be fair, I'm kind of glad that Pacomike won. Obviously, it's a shame that he went through 2 CranKy Duckling players to win. But for those who don't know, and I'll reiterate this, I've said this a couple of times today, Pacomike was supposed to play in DreamHack. He was supposed to play in DreamHack Latin America. And unfortunately, due to heavy storms in his area, the internet went down. Some of the internet providing towers were damaged in that storm. And because of that, he didn't have any internet, and he had to forfeit in DreamHack. He had to forfeit his match against Jim Rising. And honestly, that's so devastating, because DreamHack is so very important to these players, to all StarCraft players. Like, DreamHack is the event to play in and to do well in. And Pacomike could have had a deeper run in DreamHack. He was in the main event, sure, but he could have gone to the playoff match. He could have made it to the playoffs. But yeah, unfortunately, 2 days ago, like, he didn't have any internet and he had to forfeit. So it is a really sad way to end a DreamHack run. So congratulations, you know, at least he is our Copa Hyperion champion. It isn't as prestigious as DreamHack, but he does get something here. And with that, thank you everyone for watching. We had a lot of viewers today. Thank you everyone who decided to drop by. Thank you for all the raids. Massive shout out to Pili for the raid. Cosmos dropped by earlier. We even had a couple of other raids from people who we're not familiar with, but like Nemesis raided us. Stars Fall Dim raided us as well. We really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. And with that, that is the end of the tournament today. Today, usually on the weekends, we have 2 broadcasts in 24 hours or in a day. But today we only have 1 broadcast due to DreamHack. We don't want to run over DreamHack and have 2 kind of broadcasts running at the same time. So this is the only tournament today. We will be live tomorrow with Battle of the Americas. As I quickly show the schedule on the stream right now, I don't believe the schedule has been updated. Oh no, it has. Kind of. It's kind of been updated. So tomorrow at 8 AM KST, there it is. On Sunday, 8 AM KST is Battle of the Americas. So if you enjoyed today's broadcast and if you enjoyed today's players, they will be returning tomorrow in Battle of the Americas to face off against the American pros. The big question is, how many Americans are going to show up? And how many Canadians are going to show up? Because obviously, our regulars, our top regulars like Nina, Pili, Trigger, Vindicta, they all have to prepare for DreamHack. DreamHack NA starts next week. Latin America was this week, North America is next week. So do these guys really want to show up and show their style and show their builds like a day before DreamHack? Probably not. So we may have less American representation in Battle of the Americas tomorrow than we normally do, which is a bit of a shame, but we're going to have plenty of Latin American representation. And I guess, you know, if players like Nina or Pili Pili do show up, then it would be a good chance to see what kind of form they're in for their DreamHack groups. It's very risky for these players to do that, but it's possible. They may feel lucky, or maybe they think they're good enough where it doesn't matter and they'll show up anyway, just to win Battle of the Americas and to play in DreamHack. So yeah, we'll see who shows up. We'll see. It's also a good opportunity for Latin American players to kind of take advantage of the situation and maybe like have some deep runs and win Battle of the Americas. Meanwhile, thanks everyone for dropping by. Thank you so much. And with that, we are done for the day. If you were wondering, I am Light_VIP, Light VIP, your caster for today. You can follow me on social media. You can follow me on my Twitch channel. I do stream occasionally. I stream ladder sessions. I stream some Final Fantasy 14 as well with the rest of the CranKy Ducklings. We all have like a guild there, and we kind of spend some off time there. So if you're interested, then you can follow me there. Otherwise, check us out here on the CranKy Ducklings. We cast almost daily, as you can see, with DreamHack, with Desafiantes, with our weekly tournaments. We have plenty of broadcasts here on this channel. So if you enjoyed the cast, then make sure you follow us here. Follow us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Check out our YouTube channel where we have all of our VODs. And check out our Discord where you can interact with us and our players as well. You know, our players like Eric, Ryu, Oreo, Neo, and Starduck, they are all on our Discord channel alongside all the other staff members of the CranKy Ducklings and our community. So you can join us there and you can interact with us if you wish. And you can also subscribe if you want to support us. Our subscribers gain access to our subscriber-only channel on Discord. And you can also get into some practice sessions with the rest of us as well. We have a lot of fun. And also get replay packs. But with that, we are done for the day. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and we will see you tomorrow. Hold on, as I quickly update the time here. I should have done this before. As this is, there we go, beautiful. We'll be live in 17 hours, but obviously DreamHack is still going on over the weekend, so make sure you tune into DreamHack. It's the most important tournament for StarCraft. Plenty of amazing players there. And with that, thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. Ciao, guys.